All right.
Okay. Well, hi, John. Thank you so much for joining me for Court Reporting and Captioning Week and taking some time out of your schedule to share with us your court reporting journey.
Yeah,
Thank
glad to be
you.
here.
Well, just really quickly, can you just tell me where you're at and maybe any licensing and how long you've been a court reporter?
Yeah, I live in Tucson, Arizona right now. I studied at Green River in Washington State,
Oh.
and I got my license in Washington. And then I immediately left the state because it was raining, and I went to Arizona. And then I did some cart. I got a job for 5 years at the University of Arizona doing cart. And
Oh.
in that meantime, I applied for my Arizona license, which took a little longer because it was a NCRA requirement. And then I got that. And then I worked in the courthouse um, in Tucson for a few years. So most of my professional work was actually in the courts before I did freelance. And then
Oh.
now that I've been doing remote work, I am working in California. I got certified in California and Nevada
Oh,
and
Nevada
Washington State.
too. Oh, wow.
Nevada, yeah, those are my most recent ones, California and Nevada, and I still have Arizona and Washington, so I have four.
Wow, that's great. Were you in a state court or federal court in
I was
Arizona?
in Pima County, so I guess that's a state court.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I'll get started. So just since you've been when did you start court reporting? You've been a court reporter for
about 14 years.
14
I
years.
yeah, I've been on my machine 14 years. I've probably
Okay.
been sort of certified, my first real certification was maybe 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So why did you choose court reporting as a career?
Well, when I first heard about it, I had a friend who was a court reporter, and I had no idea that people still did that. And it was a guy, so
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize that the majority were women, but not that that means anything, but it was a man who was a court reporter, and so I could see what he did and the machine, and uh I was a trained pianist. I have a degree from a music conservatory.
You
So I thought it would be a good transition because I already
um,
had hand-eye
right,
dexterity.
right.
And it
Oh
was a good,
gosh.
yeah. And so I was really passionate about music, but I really just wanted a job that would allow me to continue to do the things I love to do. And so I think court reporting is great, but as you all know, it allows lots of different flexibilities. So I really appreciate that.
Well, I can't wait to hear some of your music then. I did
Oh
not
yeah.
know that you were a pianist. That's exciting.
Yeah, I just
Well, I
performed
want to
this
do it.
afternoon.
Oh, really? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I want to learn how to play the piano. I did when I was little, but I haven't done much since. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I,
Um,
I realized that if you put too much passion in the keyboard, in the stenography keyboard, it's not a good idea. It doesn't usually turn out too
not
well. So
the
I've had to turn off my emotions in that sense.
yeah, not the same as a piano. Yeah.
Not quite.
Well, can you share a memorable experience that you've had in court reporting in your career as a court reporter?
I've had some really good experiences in court, and I think just the the professional environment of being really respected as part of the team where they see you equal with the clerk, with the judge, with the attorneys. I mean, you might hear in depositions, oh, the most important person here today is the court reporter. But
Right.
in the court, when things are really decided, you can really feel that you are really important. And I miss that experience, but I think it really shows us how integral we are in the judicial system, and we are really making an important record because that's where all things stop, and decisions are made. And I've had great relationships with my judges, and they treat you so wonderfully. So, I'm not sure I could come up with a particular story, but
But
I
the
feel
overall
like
experience.
the overall experience is one of great respect, and you feel like, wow, I've really, all my study and all my practice that I've done, I really have earned the respect that I was hoping to get in any career, whatever it would be. And really proud of that.
That's true. That's true. And also, because I used to work in court too,
Mhm.
and I'm still in touch with people from chambers.
Right.
Yeah, we still get along, and actually we still get together, and actually some of their kids work for me. So you might see that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
it all comes from full circle, so yeah. Um, okay, well, do you have a funny experience or story that you can share?
The only thing that comes to mind is I'm constantly being called Madam Court Reporter, which I think is kind of funny because on Zoom it's like, hey, look at your look. They look right at me and say Madam Court Reporter, and I'm
Oh
like,
my,
okay.
oh my.
I've had other attorneys say, the court reporter is a male. But I just think it's funny, it
Yeah,
really
yeah,
highlights some of the rote phrases people get stuck with.
right. It's just like it
Yeah.
just rolls off their tongue
Yeah, and of course
because they
it
say
it
it so often.
it rolls off me too. I mean, I just know everything people say is a matter of habit sometimes. So, but I
Right.
always I always find that quite humorous. Yeah.
What advice would you give to somebody who is considering choosing court reporting as a career?
Oh, I think in general, I would say don't stress out about it. It's not something that you have to dive into full time. You can still have the job you have and just practice on your keyboard. It's all about going from 0 to 225. That's going to take as long as it takes. And if you don't have any stresses about that, if you say, I've got some time to build my speed, because actually that's the fun part of school. It's fun learning the patterns and just getting faster. And if you can treat that as something that's fun and say, hey, I'm just getting better and faster and better and faster, um, pretty soon you'll be ready because you're going to need to then do the hard stuff, which is passing exams. But I would say give yourself some time, don't stress out about it, and make sure that you start slowly and that you're transitioning. You don't have to be a full-time student to be a court reporter. You can have a full-time job and practice court reporting for half hour at night. And
Right.
it's like a word game, really. I think it's fun. So I think that's what's great
Uh,
about it.
would you recommend court reporting to somebody
And
who's looking for a career?
oh yeah, definitely. I think it's a secret field, and there's always a threat of technology, but we are growing with technology. We always meld technology with our skill, and it makes us better. So I
Right.
wouldn't let that worry us. If you're certified, I think there's better states to work for, there's better situations to work for, but
Mhm.
in general, it's a good field with a lot of variability. You don't even have to be a stenographic court reporter. You could be a a voice writer. So there's lots of
Right,
variability.
right. And you don't even have to work in the legal industry.
No, I did cart writing for many years, and I mean that was fascinating. I could have gotten degrees in about 6 different things. I mean, it was fun. I could go through economics, I could go through business school, I could go through law school. I went through all those classes. I know it was
And,
fun.
and for those who don't know what CART is, um,
Oh,
what does CART stand for? What is it?
um, communication access, real-time technology. It's a horrible acronym.
Uh-huh.
And I think most people agree, and I think there's a better acronym than CART, but people still have just been using
Still
CART,
use
but it
CART,
really
yeah.
is, it really helps hearing impaired students get real-time feed of professor lectures or any other student involvement, or even sounds. You know, it's kind of like adding captions to a movie. And so we're not required to be verbatim, but we're required to provide the best communication assistance for them. And we're usually a bridge. People who are sign language learners usually don't use us. They use sign language. And so it's people who are usually hard of hearing, but not deaf.
Right. Or maybe they've lost their hearing at a later age.
Yes, yes. But I've gotten a lot of wonderful feedback from them
Oh,
that
really?
you get immediate feedback if you're very helpful. They're very appreciative. It's also
Oh,
extremely stressful, but it's very good. I don't know, a lot of beginning students, again, beginning graduates say you can start doing CART, and yet it's the hardest thing. It's very hard. You know, you're just live naked writing real time,
uh-huh.
but it's great practice.
Right. That's why you became so good at it.
It really helps.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
one thing I do in CART though is, you know, you leave out the stuff you can't write, or you leave out the filler words. And, you know, I had to kind of tell myself, no, keep writing, John, in iDepo. You can't just decide what's important anymore.
Right. Everything goes in.
Yes, everything goes in. So you do have to change your brain a little bit, but at least you know, it's not a thermodynamics class. It's a little
Right,
easier.
right, right. Have to write a thesis or okay.
Yes.
Well, did you ever have a teacher or a mentor or someone who impacted your schooling or court reporting career?
Yeah, my teachers at Green River were all fantastic, um, and very inspiring. And I think even the speed building teachers and my, you know, most of them are retired, but Lori Raposo, she ran the Green River program, and she was
Uh-huh.
just so professional and someone that took it really seriously. And you know, she made you better than you really needed to be at a certain level. So I really appreciated that. She
That's great.
brought as much professionalism into the
Uh-huh.
practice sessions as, so we wouldn't be surprised in the real world.
That's great. Because, a lot
Yeah.
of times, yeah, it's not how it is in school. Like I'm sure people go to law school and it's very different when you get out of school, pass the bar and start working.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So she really tried to create the real environment, and you know, sometimes it would make us nervous, but you know, it's been helpful. I think
Right.
she made us prepared in other ways beyond the keyboard.
Okay. That's great. I had a really great teacher too in school. She changed my life. So, I
Oh,
don't
that's
know if,
amazing.
yeah, like I don't know if there's, like in court reporting school, it just seems like there's really good teachers there.
Mhm.
So why do you love court reporting? Tell me.
Well, personally, since I told you my background as a musician, you know, I'm somebody who values my own time and my own freedom, and I think the profession offers you a lot of flexibility. So
In terms of hours, the flexibility
in
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 terms of working hours?
in terms of working hours, but also, you know, since I'm kind of an artistic person, I like every day to be a new day. And you know, every day in court reporting is a new day. You don't know when you're starting, you don't know if your job will be canceled, you don't know what you might get again, you don't know what the subject matter is going to be in, and that's a lot of fun. You don't know what's going to happen, and that's great. There's no you're never stuck in a rut.
Right, the
Uh,
predictability.
right. And if you do like predictability, you can always work in the courts, and that's a lot more
Right,
predictable.
right.
But we all know that the morning calendar is highly unpredictable. So
Yes.
so so there is that kind of excitement, and I think that's why I really like it, that you are you're challenged, but you're given the freedom of what kind of work you want and the flexibility. So I really like that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So here's my bonus question before we wrap up is what would you love an attorney to do or not do?
Well, for one thing, call me Mr. Court Reporter. I would love that. I would love uh you know, sometimes attorneys say we're the most important people in the room. And I think that if they would stress that, you know, we don't work for them, we're officers of the court, and we don't work for anybody. And we're there to kind of uphold some standards of the state.
Yeah, of the
And
judiciary.
yes, and so we need that kind of respect, and we need to speak up when that gets threatened. And you know, we're not just taking down things. We are producing a record, and we're not hired by the attorneys. We're not friends of anyone, but
Right. We're
our
not friends
closest
of
connection
anyone in the parties,
in the
the-
parties.
right.
And we have a skill that allows us to uh that that they can be confident that we're getting the most accurate record possible. AI can't do it, and uh I'm we are certified like they are to do our
Right.
jobs.
Right.
And in that sense, we're all on the same level.
Right. Right.
So
That's
I'd like that to be acknowledged in practice a bit more, you know, when they say this is what we want you to do as our court reporter. We want this transcript to go here. And it's like, no, you know, we've got our rules we need to follow. And we're not really trying to do favors or work for one party. We've got our own
well, yeah,
code of
we're
ethics.
yes, we're impartial. We're impartial.
It's totally impartial. Yeah,
Yeah, the outcome of the case doesn't really affect us as a reporter.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just want to make sure that the record is good so that they can use it for their case.
Yeah. And I will say, even though that's what I'd like attorneys to do, most of them are very respectful and appreciative. So I don't
Yeah,
have big complaints about attorneys, actually. They're uh sometimes I'm not sure they know what we do.
yeah, right, right. But I'm sure they'll be happy to hear that you don't have big complaints about them. But yeah, you're right.
Yes.
They probably don't really know exactly what we do other than, they get this transcript later.
Yes, and a lot of them say they think we read lips, and I would just like to say, no, I don't read lips. Sorry. I listen very carefully. if I don't read lips.
Well, thank you so much, John, for taking out some time out of your day to meet with me and to bring awareness to our amazing profession.
Thank you very much. I've enjoyed it.
Thank you for joining me.
Sure. All right. Bye.